Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you realized that the transaction that you entered was incorrect? Whether it was an hour ago, a day ago, or a year ago. What is the process in order to back up those transactions? Well, in part, it depends on where the transaction was entered. If the transaction was entered through a general ledger entry, just a regular journal entry, then it's fairly easy to back out. The process is the same, but GP will allow you to back out without many problems. If the transaction originated from a subledger, say account receivables or account payables, then GP needs to be configured so that it will allow for those transactions to be backed out and corrected. So let's take a look at a demo here using Fabricam company. And first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that the settings are correct to be able to back out a transaction that originated from a subledger. So we'll go into Financial, General Ledger Setup, and we want to make sure that this option here, we want to make sure that this option is checked and available. This means that GP will allow the voiding and correcting of subsidiary transactions. By default, this is off, and most probably it should be off, but in the case where you need to perform the procedure, go into General Ledger Setup, turn that on, click OK, and now you're able to do so. How do you do the actual backing out and correction of a transaction? Well, we go into Financial, General, and this is just a good old journal entry window. There is a correct button here at the top. We'll click on that, or it gives us a couple of options. Back out a journal entry. So this you just need to back it out completely, or back it out and also create a correcting entry all at once. Now, by default, when using Fabricam, it will make use of the year 2017. 2017 is the current year as per this test company or this training company, Fabricam. So let's go ahead and look for a transaction. We'll say that the original entry year was a couple of years ago, back in 2015. And we can type in the journal entry number if we have that handy, and if we do not, we can actually perform a lookup. Let's go ahead and just pull up this invoice here, and it says, or it's letting us know that this transaction did not originate within GL. It was entered in invoicing, and it will not be adjusted there. It will be adjusted here within only within GL. So we've selected our original journal entry. We click OK, and it brings up that transaction. Now there's two pieces to what we're doing. One is backing out of the transaction, and then we will be correcting it. This is the part where it's just backing out. There really isn't much that we can change here other than verifying that these are the particular transactions that that were relevant to what we're trying to back out. In fact, it already automatically puts in a reference back out of journal entry 1191. We can just post the back out here, or we can make it part of a batch. So if we wanted to say, actually we could make it part of that correcting batch and click save. Want to add this to the batch? Yes, we do. We can add a okay, so we've created a batch to which that backout is being added onto. And once we clicked save, it has added the backout to that batch. And now this is the second piece. As we can see here by the name in the reference, this is the actual correct or correcting piece of it. We're able to modify the accounts. So in this case, if this is the incorrect account, I can do a lookup, and this is the actual account that I needed to go to. I can select that, and in this case here, the issue was not the account, but it was the amounts. We'll need to go ahead and make a change here. It was not 128.25. It was actually 128.22. And I will make the corresponding edit on the credit side. So it would have been 117. We'll go ahead and save that. And now both of these transactions have been saved to this batch. Could have done them individually, but I decided to go ahead and add them to a batch. I can now go into batches, plug in the batch ID, do Control L. Yes, that's the one that I need. Hit enter, select that. And I can see in the journal entries that I have 2 journals, and that is the total amount of the transactions. At this point, I can go ahead and post, send it out to the screen, and now I have my report with the breakdown of the before and after. So here I can see the Illinois state sales tax payable was the original, but we modify that to the Springfield city tax payable, as well as the so that's where we changed the account number, and the account receivables where we made changes to the amounts as well.